how about I know it's something that I've talked a lot with nutritionists in the last few years. What's that optimal gilt weight, and also, number of estrus, and what are your thoughts in general about that? But also, is there any recent studies in the area? A lot of the stuff that I'm aware of, it's been almost a decade, some of this.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the two groups that I know of that I look for a lot of research coming out in gilts is George Foxcroft and Jennifer Patterson up in Canada, and then Clay Lentz and his crew out at the US Mark do a lot of work with gilts. But I still think the target breeding weight, we could argue, is around 300 pounds, and that should be breeding age no larger than 220 or 225 days of age. Mm-hmm. So if you aren't getting those girls bred by 225 days of age, they are going to not be reproductively maximize any reproductive potential for your farm. Mm-hmm. And I haven't seen anybody really repeat some of the data, but breeding at the second estrus, the data was pretty clear, as you could imagine, a decade ago, that breeding at the second estrus increases ovulation rate and number born alive. So it's worthwhile to skip a heat, document a heat, and breed at the second estrus or third estrus. I don't think I know of any data that shows a benefit of second versus third, but definitely anything more than one, the first is the way to go. And that's tough. Some GDUs aren't doing a very good job at recording heat no service in the barns in the GDU, and others are doing a really great job of that and confirming they've had a heat before they move them into crates and start getting them ready for breeding. I think that maybe opens up another area that we need to discuss, which is the acclimation to the breeding crate. I think that's becoming a lot more practiced, which I think is great. So those gilts, if they are cycling in the group pens and then you move them into a stall, they do need a period of time to adjust to that stall not being a stress. So I think it's really important that we do spend some time acclimating them to that stall, and then before they move to the sow farm and get put in a stall to be bred for the first time. Mm-hmm. And that also makes sure they know how to eat in the stall. They know how to drink out of the right nipple waters or the troughs. They need a lot of those kinds of adjustments. Otherwise, we can see them maybe have that first heat documented in the pen, and then all of a sudden they don't seem to cycle again and they fall out. And part of that just could be acclimation to the stalls.
Very nice. Are we talking here about 2 weeks or minimum of 10 days, or what do you have in mind for that?
Yeah, I think 2 weeks. I mean, if once you find them in heat that first time, if you have stalls at the GDU to put them in to start acclimating them there. And then by the time they're ready for their next cycle, so 2 to 3 weeks would be really nice to get them acclimated.